In July 2010, 45-year-old Brittany Tavar disappeared from her St. Augustine, Florida home. The same day, she was expected to appear in court over a bitter feud with some former friends. Brittany never showed up. When her two beloved dogs were found roaming the streets 300 miles away in South Carolina, police launched an investigation into her disappearance. Detectives questioned Brittany's former friends, but discovered they had an airtight alibi. When investigators learned Brittany had rented out her spare room to a man named Joe Roberts, who had also vanished around the same time as her, they launched a manhunt. Police tracked Brittany's credit card and SUV moving west across the country to Wyoming. Before they could catch up with the vehicle, they were informed that Roberts had been arrested in Seattle for trying to steal food. Detectives fly out from Florida to question Roberts about Brittany's disappearance.
Joe, these gentlemen want to talk about your warrants out of Florida.
Hey, what's up, Joe?
What's going on?
George, Harrigan, Kit Brantley.
Joseph? What do you go by, Joe or
Joe?
Joe Brantley, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Sorry to pull you out in the evening. We kind of had some stuff going on, so we didn't get to it till now.
Okay.
But I appreciate you meeting. You are in custody. So before we get started, I do have to read you Miranda.
Okay.
I know the patrol guys did, I guess, yesterday, right? When they talked to you. But let me read this to you, and then we'll talk if you're cool with that, and I'll answer any questions you have. You have the following rights under the United States Constitution. You do not have to make a statement or say anything. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before you make a statement or before any questions are asked of you, and to have a lawyer with you during any questioning. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed for you before any questioning if you wish. If you do answer questions, you have the right to stop answering questions at any time and consult with a lawyer. Do you understand what I just read to you?
Yes.
Would you mind signing right there, just stating that you do understand? All right. Thanks, sir. Are you from here, Joe?
I lived in Seattle for a while when I was growing up, like grade school, beginning of middle school. Mm-hmm. But I was actually born in Wisconsin and went to high school in Indiana. So
okay, so kind of all over the place. Yeah. So somewhat familiar with the area, but not thoroughly familiar, I guess you could say.
Exactly.
How long have you been in Seattle? Recently, I guess you could say.
About 4 months, I'd say, almost, maybe.
Okay. And you say you're originally from Wisconsin?
Yeah. I was born in Wisconsin. I have never spent any real time there ever since I was like 5, so I don't really remember it.
Okay. Where were you actually raised then, would you say?
Here in Indiana.
Here in Indiana?
Yeah.
All right. Where out in Indiana?
Indianapolis, a little area called Broad Ripple.
Okay. Yeah. Family there still?
Yeah, my aunt lives there.
Okay. Mom and dad in the picture?
No.
No. All right. Sorry about that. I don't mean to press any bad buttons, so to speak.
It's long, old history, whatever.
I gotcha. Well, what brings you to Seattle?
I was looking for change. The old friend, and I don't know, just I needed change, so.
Old friend?
Yeah, old friend I hadn't talked to in a long time. Hit me up and so we got to talking, and I came up to here to see her, and that was about it.
A female friend?
Mm-hmm.
It's always women that make us run all over the country, right?
Yeah, they do. They do tend to do that.
Yeah, I gotcha. Well, how did you get up here?
I drove.
You drove?
Yeah.
What? Do you have a vehicle, or you borrowed somebody's vehicle, or what?
I borrowed somebody's vehicle.
Okay. And whose vehicle was that?
Girl named Brittany.
Brittany from?
Florida.
Florida. What's her last name?
Tavar.
Okay. And where's that vehicle now?
It's still here. I'm assuming that's what this warrant is about.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. Well, I figured you knew what it was about. I don't mean to beat around the bush, but
I'm assuming that's what it's about.
Because obviously, I'm sure she's wanting her vehicle back, I guess, is the problem.
Yeah. So, I still
mean, it's still here. I don't have access to it anymore. It's, well, it was up by the library, so.
The library, where?
North one, north side, or northeast library.
Okay. What happened? I mean,
I locked the keys in it.
so you just left it? Had you seen it after that happened, or did something happen to it, or did you see it? Do you know that it's still sitting there?
I think it's still sitting there. It's as far as I know. It's only happened a couple months ago. I mean,
okay.
So it might have.
Well, what's your thought process on this whole issue with these charges? I mean, did she know you had the vehicle?
She knew I had the vehicle. I can understand. There was issues. And, so I don't get the $500,000 warrant. And I haven't been able to get a hold of her ever, so I don't know what's going on.
Well, what can we do to make it right? I mean,
I have no idea.
Well, tell me this. Who is she to you? I mean, how do you...
She was just a friend. We met in a Barnes & Noble, and she wanted to start up a business, and I was in a real rut down in Florida, and I said, okay. And then she goes and buys me a computer so that we can get this business started, right? And I'm like, great, let's get it going. She lets me move into her house and start up to help her start up this company. Except the problem is that once I start getting going on this, I'm the one starting up the entire thing. And while she's helping me out a lot, it didn't work out because she didn't want to do anything at all for it. And it started,
all the work.
He kept it changing from, oh, I'll help you with this to I'll help you with it. And so it didn't end up working out. Long story short, I was like, this isn't working out. We got in a huge fight on a Monday, a huge argument. And it was, I don't know, just basically about all of this. And I was like, look, is there any way we can work out something else? And I was like, look, I have a friend in Seattle. I'd like to get to Seattle. Can I go to Seattle? And is there any way you can help me get to Seattle? And she was like, okay, yeah, you can take my car and go to Seattle. And I was like, great, thank you. And I will pay you back. And so she let me use her car and her cell phone. And I got in the car and with the cell phone, and I took off. And then a couple of days later, and she gave me her debit card as well, so that I would have gas money, and so that I'd have gas money. And I honestly used it for a couple other things too, but food occasionally, and that was it, I think. And then anyway, so I was supposed to take it up there, go see my friend, talk to my friend. And she was gonna fly up there, pick it up, and drive it back. Kind of for her to have a vacation, because her family lives on, as far as I know, in California, and she was gonna pick it up, drive it from Seattle down the coast on the 101 or whatever that highway is, and see her family and treat it as a vacation. And I never heard from her. Once I got here, I never heard from her. So
what was the plan? How was she supposed to call you? Did you have a phone at the time?
I had her cell phone.
Oh, you had her cell phone?
Yeah.
Okay, so she was supposed to call you on the cell phone.
Yeah, she was supposed to call me on the cell phone. And unfortunately, the cell phone died because I forgot to grab when I left, I didn't have the charger with me.
Gotcha.
But long story, I figured she just something happened, and she got pissed at me, and I'd also kind of screwed her over a little bit, so because I took some money and some jewelry, but But
Did she find out about that?
yeah, I think so. I don't know.
So you don't know? She never
I don't know.
confronted you about that?
I haven't talked to her about it since I had
How much money did you take?
a couple $100.
All right. So it was you said it was a Monday when you left?
Yeah.
Like how long ago? Like you remember what Monday?
Well, no, it
What
was
month are we
Tuesday when I
talking
left.
about?
It was a Monday when we were fighting. It was like Tuesday night. I cut out. No, I have no idea what the date was.
You remember the month? We're in October, so
Yeah, I'm trying to count back. October. August or July, maybe.
Okay. All right.
I mean,
so
no,
you,
it would have been June, July, August.
all
Has
right.
to be July, I think, or maybe early August.
So
I
if
can't
you
remember.
leave, so when you left, you just drove straight to Seattle. I mean, did you stay anywhere? Did you stop anywhere? I mean, did you talk to anybody? Did you go to anybody else's house and hang out, or?
No, I drove. Well, I basically drove through. I went up to Indiana for a second because I was going to surprise my mom or my aunt and say hey and try to have dinner with her and stuff like that. And she wasn't there, so I just kept going.
Did you call her?
No, I did not. I was literally. I just.
So it would have been a big surprise.
It
then.
would, yeah, no, I was really gonna literally just show up at the front door and say, "Hey, surprise!" And I showed up at the front door, but she wasn't in town, so it wasn't. Actually, I think I did call her at one point, but she didn't answer.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, where's
I'm
the
not sure.
first place that you had to stop for gas? You remember where the first place was?
no,
You remember
no.
what state you were in?
Well, it probably would have been North Carolina, I think.
Okay. How many cards did she provide you with? You said
Just
she let you use a
one.
debit card or something?
Credit card and a debit card.
We said just one.
Well,
So what is
I was
it?
only supposed to use the credit card, actually.
You were only supposed to use a credit card?
Yeah.
So why'd she let you have the debit card then?
Well, she didn't. That was kind of one of the things that I didn't even realize I had taken it until after I'd left.
Okay.
So,
So she obviously would have been upset had she known you had both, which she probably is upset.
yeah. And then
Right.
and then in Idaho, I got pulled over, and I actually thought because I hadn't heard from her or anything, and I hadn't called her, but I hadn't heard from her, and I got pulled over, and I was actually kind of worried because I didn't have an ID at the time. I had a driver's license, but I didn't have an ID. And it was my driver's license was in Indiana, and anyway, I was worried because I thought she might have like called it in or something. That's why I thought I was getting pulled over at first, so I kind of freaked. But
Well, how'd that go?
they let me go. Because I told them what was up. I was like, I'm just driving. Well, actually, I kind of fudged on it, but
Well, what do you mean? What did you say?
I told them that I was staying with my aunt and she was in town, and I wasn't from around here, and that's why I was speeding because the signs were all crazy. Which was true. The signs were all crazy. It was like 30-mile-per-hour speed zone, and like I don't know. I'd been driving on the highway and I had a heavy foot, and anyway,
Right.
cop gave me a break, so I left and crashed out for the night, and then took off and went back and continued on to Seattle, where I came here.
All right. Did you stop anywhere else and use the card other than gas, or was it just gas and?
Gas and food, I think. That's about it.
So that was it. Nothing else.
We had yeah, you know what? I did stop at a Walmart and pick up some stuff.
What'd you get there?
I don't know. One of those backpacks for water. And then, I picked up a tent because I was going to crash out at a campsite that night. And I think maybe some clothes, like a t-shirt and some shorts.
Okay. All right. And did you? I mean, during this whole time frame you had her car, did you stay in any other town, or was your goal to get straight to Seattle?
My goal was get straight to Seattle. I did the trip in like 3.5 days or something like that.
Okay.
3-4 days. It's pretty much from there to there. And then when I got here, I couldn't even find the person I was supposed to be coming here for. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was kind of a busted trip.
Yeah, I would say so.
And then, obviously, and then just, shit went really wrong. So, I have a question for you. I mean, car theft is one thing. Why is my bounty so high?
It's a good question. I was hoping you can answer that for me. The warrant's out of Florida.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's concerning that it's that high.
Yeah.
I was hoping that maybe you could shed some light on maybe there's something more to the story than just that. I don't know. I mean, is there something else you stole from her that is more important than a car? I mean,
no. As far as I know, just the car and the jewelry and the cards.
Right. But one of them, you said she let you use.
Yeah.
She let you use one of them, but she didn't know about the other one, right?
I think I should probably get a lawyer.
You think you probably should?
Yeah, I think I need to talk to a lawyer because I don't know where this is going. Obviously, something you guys aren't telling me. And yeah.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but
okay. Well, can I talk to a lawyer? I mean,
absolutely can. That's your right.
Awesome.
But do you want to? Is there anything that we can help you out with as far as getting in touch with your family? Would you like to talk to your aunt at any point in the near future?
I mean, yeah, I guess I did see my grandmother was in the courtroom today.
Well, good. That's good.
Which I have no idea how she found out about all this, but
well, listen, because you said you want to talk to an attorney, you're a smart guy, and I'm not going to ask you any more questions about the case. But I do want to tell you, your family's very worried about you, and they do want to talk to you. And you and I know that there's much more to this, and we were here to give you the opportunity to tell us what really happened. Because you and I both know that there's a lot more that happened. And we already pretty much know what happened. A lot of times, the reason we exist in investigations is to get the other side of the story. So that if this was a simple mistake or somebody, acted out in rage because somebody else did something wrong in self-defense, so to speak, then that's a totally different story than somebody acting out because they wanted to act out, if you understand what I'm saying. There's a difference between somebody that meant to do something and somebody that didn't mean to do something. That's all I'm saying. So just keep in mind that in order for us to talk again, you've got to ask to talk to me.
Okay. Well, because
there's
and I appreciate you saying that, and yeah, let's just say, I need to know my options before I come back to you.
Of course, I understand.
Okay.
And I'd do the same thing if I was in your position. But just remember, you have to ask to talk to me.
Okay.
I can't come and see you, no matter what. So you've got to ask to talk to me if you want to talk to me. And know that there's a lot more that we can talk about. And you know exactly what I'm saying. And all I was here for was to make sure that this wasn't, you weren't some monster, but that this was a big accident. That's all we were here for.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Would you, do you want to talk to your aunt before I leave? Do you want me to get you on the phone with her?
Yeah, sure.
Do we get cell reception in here?
You can. Leo, why don't you write your name and number on there?
Step out there and ask if we get cell reception in here.
We do.
All right. That is my cell number.
Okay.
That's him. I've got a card, I think. Let me give you.
I can't call
let me
cell
give you
phone
my
numbers
card.
from.
But they will call it.
Oh, okay.
If you tell them you need to get in touch with me, I'll make sure they know to get a hold of me. But you never know what could happen. I'll at least give you my contact stuff.
Do you guys fly in today?
Yeah. Yeah, it was a long flight. That's my number on both of them, but yeah, that's me
Okay.
and that's him.
What time is it in Indianapolis, right?
Yeah, you don't think she'll care if you call her late, do you?
I don't know.
I mean, it's what?
I'll call and see.
Call her first. Step out there and call her
Let
first
me
so she
call
doesn't.
her.
I don't want to be it.
Yeah, don't.
Yeah, well,
She doesn't like me that much anyway, so.
we just let her know that he just wants to talk to her. And no, your family loves you, man. Don't think don't think that they hate you. Trust me, we've talked to them a lot. Seriously. Okay.
Okay.
I know you got a lot going on in your mind and you're scared right now, and I know this isn't something you planned on doing. You didn't plan on sitting here in this room with me tonight trying to talk about this stuff. I understand that. But just think about everything and know that there's a way out, so to speak, as far as you don't want to be portrayed as a monster. You don't.
I know.
You know what I mean? You need anything more to drink or anything, or you alright?
Water would be great. I'm fine, really. I don't know.
Alright.
It doesn't matter.
You said Grandma was in court today, right? That's good. That's really good.
Yeah. Yes.
Hold on just a second. We'll get you on the phone with your aunt. You haven't had any contact with her at all, have you?
No.
Okay. I can't get your aunt on the phone.
Yeah, it's a little late.
It's late. I mean, if she calls us back and you're already over there, maybe I'll try to set something up where we can hook up with you tomorrow and let you talk to her. Or I'll just tell her to somehow reach out to you. I mean, I don't know how it works over at the jail, but I'll tell them to reach out.
Yeah, I have no idea. Alright, I'll talk to you. I have a couple of requests.
Okay.
First, my nerves are shot.
Mm-hmm.
I want a cigarette really badly. Is that something you can make happen?
Let me check and see if we can make that happen.
Yeah, we'll find out. All right, request number 1. What else?
don't
ask for like a helicopter and stuff like that.
That was exactly what I was gonna ask for. I don't know how much control you have over it, but I'm not gonna survive in anything that's maximum security or any of that. I need,
What do you mean?
like if I have to go to jail, I need somebody on my side that's gonna be saying, well, put him in.
Right. You don't need to be in some isolation and lockdown and all that
Yeah.
stuff. I gotcha.
Somebody doesn't like the door.
Yeah, the door doesn't like us, I don't think. Got it. All right.
All right, they said we can make the cigarette happen, but they have to do it afterwards. It's not our police department, so
Okay.
we don't have the rules here.
I guess they're probably worried about doing it here, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there's a spring
But-
head there.
Can't go out on the.
Yeah, he said we'll go out on the patio. He said, but they have to wait until.
Can't go patio and then come back and then.
I tried. I tried.
What else? Is that it or something else on your mind?
I don't think you guys have control over anything else. I mean, I don't know.
Well, obviously, obviously I can't make promises.
I know.
But I mean, you're intelligent. You know how the game is played. Obviously, cooperation means a lot when someone thinks about whether somebody's a monster or whether there's somebody that made a mistake.
Right.
And simply put, that's what it is.
Well, and I'll tell you this: I made a huge mistake. I don't know. I don't know how it happened. I don't know why it happened. I don't even really remember it. I freaked out and and I ran. I was gonna leave the country. I was gonna jet, and I got here, and I decided I'd stop and sit here for a second and decide what to do. And to be honest, I was gonna turn myself in here about a month. I kind of happened a little early, but because.
Well, we all make mistakes in life. All of us do. I've made my share. George has made his share. And hey, some mistakes are a little bigger than others, but I mean,
we're human beings, is what he's trying to say. Remember that. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. We're all the same.
Right,
And-
but yeah.
and we pretty much know what happened, but
Okay. Well,
what actually occurred that
I don't honestly know. I know I was extremely angry. I know I was really upset. I knew that my gut was telling me to leave because I was so upset with how things were going and with just the way I was being treated or the way I was perceived being. Anyway,
listen, we know Brittany wasn't any.
She wasn't an angel. We know that.
We know that.
okay.
So trust me, we're very aware of her side of this.
I don't know. Tuesday night we got in an argument basically, and I was and she wouldn't shut up about the stupid court case that she had to go to, and I'm talking when she wouldn't shut up about it. She would not.
She was obsessed with it.
Obsessed with it to the point where that's all she would ever talk about.
That was her life.
Exactly. And she wanted me to make these videos for her evidence, so that she could get this restraining order. And I did that. I did it a number of times. And that night she came, and I was supposed to go with her the next day to court. And that night she came to me again and said, "Hey, I need you to do these videos up for me again and make me 2 DVDs. I was like, okay. And we got in an argument about something else. I don't really remember anymore exactly the details of it, But long story short, I was pissed, but I said, all right, I'll make you the DVDs. She was pissed. She was like, I don't want you to come with me tomorrow. And I was like, fine, great. And, I went in my room and I watched whatever and I did whatever and I stayed up late. But I made the DVDs and I left them out on the counter. Well, actually, I left one out on the counter. I left both of them out on the counter. Anyway, I went to sleep, and I remember waking up, and it must have been early. And I remember waking up and hearing her go off about something, and I don't really remember much after that. And then I remember standing over her, and she's dead, and there's blood everywhere, and
We'll take a deep breath for a minute and think about the part that you're leaving out, like how she ended up on the floor with blood all over her. I mean, how did that happen?
Honestly, guys, I don't really remember. I don't know. I remember waking up and hearing her go off about no names on the DVDs, and I came out and I was yelling at her and calling her an ungrateful bitch, and then I picked up something and I hit her.
Do you know what it was that you picked up?
Hammer, I think.
How many times did you hit her?
I don't know, too many.
Did she run?
I don't remember.
Well, you're starting to remember. You're remembering a lot.
Just take your time. It's gonna be difficult, to remember because your mind wants to block it out, and you just have to kind of try to concentrate and take your time and think about it. Where did it happen at in the house?
It was like the kitchen area, kind of.
Okay.
Living room, or like,
Yeah,
I guess actually like right where the computer area was.
Okay, yeah, right in that area.
Yeah.
So in that front room by the front door, sort of.
Yeah, that
I got you.
hallway.
Okay.
Are you sure that it was a hammer?
Yeah.
How many times do you think you hit her with it? More than once?
Yeah.
More than 3 times?
Probably like 5, maybe. I don't know.
Where, in the head, body?
Head.
Was she able to run at all? Did she get outside at some point?
No.
Okay.
No, she just.
So after that happens and you said all of a sudden you're standing there and she's on the floor and she's got blood all over her.
Yeah. I know there's a piece missing. I don't know what happened, man. I honestly don't, because there was blood everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean it was all over the place.
Well, the biggest glaring question I'm sure I want to know is, where is she?
Okay, I can, not exact location. I can give you general spot.
That's a start.
All right, where you have a piece of paper and a pencil?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That would make life easy. I'm sorry, everything. All right, this is 312. I haven't been there in a little while, so.
All right.
This is that SR
217, I think.
207?
207, something like
The
that.
one where the St. Augustine record's at?
Yeah, there's like the record's right here, and the
Apartment complex and a kangaroo store.
kangaroo's sitting right here, and apartment complex is right there. Okay. You go up this road, and there was a sign. I mean, there's basically, here's the kangaroo, and then there's like, back here, there's a road that runs here, but they're like dirt roads or something, right?
Okay.
And there's another one. There's
Yeah.
another dirt road, and then, okay, the dirt road you want is the one that has this arrow in front of it, and it actually has a left-hand turn lane, but it doesn't have. There's nothing there. It's all it is a dirt road that goes back
I know
into
exactly
the thing.
what you're talking about. It's before. Do you know where?
It's
It's before Lightsey Road, right? Where the stoplight's at.
Actually, I'm not sure if it's before or after. I think it is before it, but it's after McDonald's. I know
Which
that
side
much.
are we at right here? Is that kangaroo on this side?
Yeah,
I
sorry,
know
this
what
is
exactly
kangaroo.
he's talking about.
Okay.
Okay.
And you pass the movie theater. The movie theater's on the left. The new movie theater. You pass it, and then it's the first road on the left.
Yeah.
How
anyway,
far down?
it's probably 5 or 6. I want to say not feet, but not even, maybe a football field. I guess would be the best.
100 yards.
100 yards, something like that.
So
maybe
you-
150.
So you turn onto that dirt road. You drive down about a football field, left or right.
Left, and about 10 to 15 feet in, there's a little hill. There's a hill, and basically you've got the woods, or here's the road over here, and there's a bunch of trees and crap, and then there's a hill here, and then there's like a little thing, and she's like right there.
Now, is she buried or just tossed out there?
She's semi-buried. I couldn't get the shovel in, so it just kind of, no, not really. I don't.
She's just kind of laid out there.
She's wrapped up in
what?
blankets and some trash bags.
Okay. Is she all together?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a welding place over here. It's called like Stakes Welding or something like that.
That road he's talking about goes back to the Usina pits.
Oh, okay.
I'm very familiar with it.
There's a bunch of homeless guys that
Now,
say
when you say you take a left,
Yeah.
you take a left and go down this road, it's about 100 yards, and then it's to your left.
100 yards and to your left, and
then in how far deep into off the roadway?
like 10, 15 feet. 15
So not far at
feet.
all?
It's really not
So you
far.
didn't turn the car
I
under
didn't
there. You had to
I
stop and
parked
get
the
her
car
out. Gotcha.
and just dragged her out. And
Now, was that the same night that it happened? You took her out there?
Yeah, it happened in the morning, and I think I did that at night. That night.
Okay. Because what I'm gonna do is I want to get somebody over there real quick, obviously, because I don't want someone else coming upon that. The sooner I get somebody over there, the better. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you telling me that. That's why I jumped to that real fast, because if you can tell me where she's at, I need to get somebody over there to recover her, if you know what I mean. Listen, we told you in the beginning, you're a human being. People make mistakes, Joe.
Yeah, not ones that cost them their life, you know, and somebody else's too. Sorry, just give me a second.
I got you. You take a second. Can you step out for just a second?
All right. Okay. I'll talk to him unless.
Yeah, you can hang out with him for a
All
minute.
right. Listen, at least we know you're human. You got emotions, and you're showing a little remorse about what you did, which it's a
Dude, I haven't
tough.
slept in like freaking months. I
Thinking
don't
about it?
even-
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, it's Because it probably goes over in your mind all the time, doesn't it? What at the point, and I know this is tough for you, but at the point that she was laying on the floor, you had to make some decisions on
What to do?
So what did you do?
My main reason for not immediately going to the police was I didn't want to spend the rest of my life in jail. That's why I ran, because I was a coward, and I didn't want to face it.
Okay.
So that's why.
And that's understandable. People get scared. I mean, that's a tough situation to be in, and people don't know what to do. And listen, I'm with you. I believe every word you say. It was, you lost control, and it was rage, and
It doesn't
you don't
make
even
any
remember.
sense. I mean, let's just put it this way: if I look at it rationally, there's no freaking point in it. I've never hurt anybody else in my life. Okay, I've avoided fights for the exact same reason that I do know I have a temper, and that I have a tendency to lose control a little bit when I have,
Right.
But I have so many people who screwed me over in my life, and Brittany might have been a little bit loopy every once in a while, or whatever, but she never did anything wrong by me. She was trying to help me. She was probably one of the only. Basically, I killed the one person that was trying to
help you out. Yeah, I understand. And I understand how Brittany reached out to a lot of people and tried to help a lot of people out.
She didn't deserve this.
And
She didn't. I don't know.
but y'all's personalities conflicted, basically, and that's probably what brought out the anger. Because she liked things a certain way and liked an order a certain way, and you were to a point like you liked to do your thing, and she was just over demanding.
Yeah, but that's not a reason to kill somebody.
No, it's not. But it helps us understand what happened. So, I mean, when you had to make these decisions, you had to say, okay, what am I going to do next? So, what did you do?
What did I do?
Next, after she's laying on the floor, and
I covered her up with a blanket for a while, and I kind of freaked out, and went and bought a pack of cigarettes, and then sat on the back porch and chain smoked about a pack of cigarettes, and until I had decided what I was going to do, and then I did it. And which was basically clean up all the blood, pour bleach everywhere, and basically my goal was to buy time. I didn't think I would be getting away with anything. I just thought I would be buying time.
And where did you get the blanket from? That you
She
covered
had
her?
a cupboard.
Was it off of a bed or in a closet?
Cupboard full of blanket stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she had tons of stuff in there, didn't she?
Yeah.
She's quite the hoarder, I guess you could say. What about did you ask him about the dogs?
Yeah.
I was real curious about the dogs. Like, how did the dogs come into play?
Well, again, that was a kind of a buying time kind of thing. Like I said originally, when I wasn't exactly thinking clearly.
Yeah, I gotcha.
Let's just step back before we get to the dogs, and let's go in kind of like an order of how. I don't want to get you confused.
All right.
So, she's on the floor. You got a blanket. You covered her up,
Mm-hmm.
and you smoked some cigarettes,
Mm-hmm.
and you decided.
And some weed.
Okay. At what point did you decide that you needed to move her, and how did you move her?
I don't know. At some point, I decided I needed to move her because, obviously, dead person sitting in the living room is not usually a good sign. If anybody were to come up, I wrapped her up in some sheets and took her into the bathroom and put her in the bathroom, and then I came back out and I
Now, which bathroom was that?
her bathroom.
And that's the one near the pool?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I came back out and I started cleaning up a bunch of blood and stuff, and like I said, I wiped everything down and
Now, how did you
bleached
know
it all.
How did you know to use bleach? Or is that was just what was available?
What was available, but also because that's what they tell you on TV shows and all that crap, is that bleach kills basically everything.
Okay. Now, what did you do with all the rags and towels that you cleaned
Threw them
up?
away.
Where at?
Dumpster.
The dumpster. Do you know which one?
I have no idea,
Okay.
dude. There was
Just
about, in total, after everything was said and done, there was probably 5 or 6 trash bags I threw in the dumpster.
Okay. So once you got everything cleaned up, you had to make it. At what point did you decide to move her out of the house, and how did you move her out of the house?
Well, at first I didn't decide to move her out of the house. I didn't know what I was going to do with her. I eventually thought about putting her in the attic and tried to, and I couldn't. And the reason I didn't want to put her in the car was because she didn't think she would fit. At that point, rigor mortis had set in. Anyway, long story short, it didn't work out trying to get her up into the attic, and I ended up putting her in the car, in the back seat.
Okay. So, and not the hatchback part, but in the back seat. Okay. And was the vehicle, was it pulled in or was it backed in when you loaded her up in there?
Pulled in.
Pulled in. Okay. Is that where she normally parked it? She pulled it in?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you put her in the back, and then what?
I waited until it was late at night and drove to where you guys have and then dumped her body.
Okay. Then after that, you came back to the house?
Yeah. Yeah, I came back to the house. I was incredibly tired, and I slept for a little bit, and then I left.
Okay.
And I packed the house with, I also, that's the other thing I did. Originally, I was gonna, wipe down everything, so you guys wouldn't even have prints on me, but I decided that was pointless, and I just basically went through some stuff because I didn't know what my plan was at that time. At that time, I was thinking I would leave the country or go up into Canada or something, but I needed cash. So I went through her jewelry and took some jewelry. You'll find, if that car is still there, assuming they haven't towed it by the library, you'll find some jewelry in there. That was pretty much it.
Are you telling us the truth about the RAV4 being at the library?
Yeah.
Did you really lock the keys in the car?
I really
or was that on
locked the keys.
purpose? Did you lock them in there on purpose just to leave it there?
It was an accident on purpose. I was already going to leave it,
Okay.
but
Just happened sooner than you planned, I guess.
happened about a day sooner than I planned. But
Okay.
yeah, I mean,
But it was definitely the
the
library.
Toyota RAV4 was at the northeast. I mean, it's a library right up here. It's off of 35th and 78th, or 68th.
Okay.
35th and 68th.
Okay. So you decided to leave the next morning. Now, at that point, you had to make a decision about what to do with the dogs.
Right, the dogs. I decided to take them with me at first, mainly because, like I said, I was just trying to buy time at this point. And I knew if I left the dogs there, they'd make a lot of noise and cause problems, and so I took
Attract attention and stuff, and
Exactly.
kind of hinder your time. Okay. So you decided to take them with you.
Yeah.
And at one point, you got rid of the dogs. And do you remember where you got rid of the dogs at?
No, well, it was just a park somewhere. I just drove in and, let them out. Like, I was letting them go to the bathroom and let them wander a little bit too far, and then I got in the car and drove back and drove off.
Okay.
I think it was in West Virginia.
Did you take the collars off of them?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Was that so they couldn't? I mean, why did you do that?
So I guess so they couldn't identify them right away.
Okay.
I mean, again, all of this was at this point me thinking, how do I buy myself as much time as possible?
Let me get off track. Just out of curiosity, have you been following this the whole time on the computer?
I followed it a little bit when it first, and then I couldn't. I didn't want to mess with it, so I just stopped.
How much do you know about the dogs? Did you follow us recovering the dogs?
I do know you guys recovered the
Yeah.
dogs. So, yeah.
Because, so, I guess that's, you got anything else?
Well, what I thought was unusual about your pattern, I guess, across the country was you used the Discover card in the Carolinas, but then there's no activity with the credit cards across the Midwest until you get to Ontario, Oregon, and Idaho.
Yeah,
How did you support your trip?
I had cash.
So you had cash too?
I had cash too. I originally wasn't. I mean, the only time I was going to use the credit cards was when I did originally. The only reason I started using the credit cards again was because I got pulled over by those cops.
Right.
And I figured it was at that point, there was no point,
Right.
So,
Did you truly come straight to Seattle, or did you stop anywhere else and stay in any campgrounds, or?
I seriously came straight to Seattle.
Okay.
I didn't do anything else. I did, like I said earlier, I did actually go through Indiana. But I didn't end up stopping there.
So we kept getting sightings all over Oregon.
And for some reason, there's somebody running around that looks like you in Oregon.
There's a lot of people that look like me, unfortunately.
So we thought for sure you were in Oregon, but
Did you follow any of the news media with us coming up here?
I mean, did you know who we were when we came in the room? Did you know
No,
who we
I
were
had
from?
no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, we came here a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, look.
I did know, I did remember reading something about manhunt and you guys thinking I had crossed the border or gone into Oregon or something like that. But that was about it. I had, basically about a month ago, I decided that because all I'd been doing was staying in Seattle here. I don't even have any friends here or anything. I just was, for a while, sleeping in the car and then basically staying out. I mean, I didn't have an ID or anything, or and I'm not exactly versed in trying to. I don't know. Basically, I could have done a bunch of things and I didn't do them, and I kept wondering why I'm not doing these things, and I'm realizing that it's because you don't want to.
You're not that kind of person, right?
Yeah.
You feel a lot better by getting this off your chest now. I can already see it. And it helps to talk about it. You probably haven't been able to talk about it to anybody, have you? You just been keeping it bottled up inside the whole time?
Yeah.
And listen to me, you did the right thing. I wasn't lying to you when I said there's a big difference in portraying yourself as a monster by not cooperating and somebody who made a mistake. Because if we'd have walked out of here with nothing, at some point the car would have ended up getting found. Because when I walked out of the room earlier, Seattle PD is already looking at every library in the city. So sooner or later that car would have popped up, and there's going to be DNA evidence in the car. And there's probably going to be stuff on your computer and on the computer from the house that indicates something strange, I guess you could say.
I don't think there should be anything on the computers, to be honest with you.
Were you Googling anything before you left?
No. I don't
about
think
the
so.
RAV4.
Oh yeah. That I
Yeah.
was doing. Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's strange.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, it plays a big part.
Is there anything that you haven't told us that you think we need to know? I mean, is there any other crimes you committed across the country? You know what I'm saying? I mean, seriously. I mean, I know you were worried and down on your luck and needed money. I mean, you didn't commit any robberies or.
The only thing I've done is steal from Safeways and for food. That's about it. That's what
How'd you get a hold of that computer that you had with you?
I've had that computer for a while. I had that when I was staying with Brittany.
Oh, okay.
So.
Oh, okay. I thought that got confiscated in your car or something like that at one point.
Yeah, actually, that one did. That one was the one Claire bought me that had a lot of work on it that got lost. Yeah, that one got taken by a friend and pawned so he could get his chopper out of the freaking thing. So that anyway.
So you had the computer the whole time. Did you ever go up on any of your emails or anything like that to check your emails or anything?
Do I look like an idiot?
Nope, you don't.
I'm like I said, fellas. You want me to be honest? I could have been gone. I've been in the country for 3.5, 4 months now. I think it is.
Yeah.
If you could have left the country, what was your plan? Where would you have gone? Canada?
No, that's what I wanted you guys to think. I was going to go south. I just ended up getting here, and when I got here, I reevaluated everything, and I was...
Well, we kind of
And I
thought
decided...
we were getting all these sightings in Oregon, so we thought you were probably in the foothills and that you would be going south because it was going to start getting cold.
Yeah, no, I wanted you guys to think I was going north, and then I was going to go south. And when I got here, I was like, well...
Well, your aunt was mad at us in the beginning because we sent law enforcement to every place that you've ever lived at. So, obviously, that included her and her friends, and so...
Now, somebody did break into her house.
I did not break into her house.
I know that now.
We know.
It really threw us for a loop because here... You've been on the run for so long, and then her house gets broken into in August? Middle of August?
Yeah.
And we thought for sure, I was like, oh my gosh, did he double back and get to Indianapolis somehow? And he's strung out and he needs to get something. I don't know. It was just weird. It threw us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, I mean, it is what it is. Somebody broke into her house.
That was one thing.
Just coincidental.
I'm sorry. That sucks. Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to make sure is I didn't involve any of my family, and I didn't want them. I mean, I figured they'd eventually learn about it. I was hoping that it kind of sucks that you went to everywhere I used to live because.
Well, I mean, at the time, I didn't know exactly what had happened. I mean, we had to try to find you, so to speak. I mean, I had to assume that you'd try to go somewhere or that you were familiar with, you know. But is there...
Yeah, eventually I would have ended up in South America somewhere. Probably.
Is there anything you haven't told us that you think we need to know about this incident or anything else?
I don't think so. I think I've gone over everything you guys already knew about the
This
Walmart purchases and yeah.
The shovel that you buried her with, where is that at? Is that at the house?
Ooh, I have no idea, to be honest. I mean, I would assume it's probably at the house.
Okay.
Like you said, I don't know if it was really. I mean, it was pitch black, dark, and I was trying to hurry because I didn't want to get caught and all this. So it was not a decent burial, not anything she deserved.
I mean, do you think it's going to be obvious to us? Or is she covered up pretty good?
She's covered up, but I don't think it's covered up. I mean, it's been a minute. She has trash bags, so over her, just basically wrapped around for, I guess I did, for smell and for just.
Is it wrapped around her whole body, the trash bags?
Yeah.
Because that'll help preserve.
Yeah, I figured as much. Anyway, there's 3 of them, 2 of them, and then one of them's in the middle that was cut.
And then the blanket's over her?
No, blankets were under
Blanket
her.
first, and then, okay, I got you. All right. Is there anything more about the actual event that you haven't told us? I mean, was it simply an act of rage and you used a hammer, or was there a different weapon? Was there more violence involved?
All I know is there was a hammer, and there was a ridiculous amount of blood afterwards, and that she was still alive for a little while, and that her throat was cut as well, and I don't know how that happened.
Now, you're saying that because you're having an actual memory of seeing it cut?
I don't know how that happened. I honestly don't.
Well, I think you know how it happened. You just,
Right.
You just don't
I mean,
remember it happening.
I don't remember doing it.
All right, I got you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. Obviously, is when we go out there, if there's anything left that's still intact, I just want to make sure you told me everything. I don't want to find something that you didn't tell me about. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's everything I know. I mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, was her throat cut before the hammer or after the hammer?
I don't know. I would assume after, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, think about it for a minute. I mean, I'm trying to help you remember.
Right. And I'm saying I think it was. I don't know. I remember.
Well, you said she was still alive for a few minutes.
Yeah.
So did you cut her throat
after.
because she was still alive for a few minutes?
No. I mean. It was after. But before. I don't know. I honestly don't know, man. I really
right.
don't.
Do you know why you cut her throat?
No. I mean,
Where'd you get the knife from? Was it like a knife you had or a kitchen knife or what was it?
had to be the kitchen knife, probably. I don't have any knives. I never had any knives.
Was she on the ground when he cut her throat or standing up?
No clue. I it was after she had to be on the ground. Yeah. I don't think I don't think it's gonna matter, man. I'm a monster no matter how you look at it.
Is there anything else that was done other than the knife and the hammer?
No.
Now, do you know what you did with the knife and the hammer? Do you know what happened to those two items?
The hammer got thrown away.
In the dumpster with the other stuff?
Yeah. I can tell you which dumpster. On the hammer, I think. Which is that actually it's the apartment complexes. The one with the trash compactor, but I very much doubt you're going to have any luck getting it.
Right.
Because
Which apartment complex are you talking about?
the one right next to the kangaroo right there.
The one that's closer to 207, or you got to go back down the road a ways past the kangaroo, I guess you could say.
312 is right here, and like if you
Go straight across.
you go straight across and take a right, I think it is. Or,
Yeah.
Those right there.
Whispering Pines or Whispering Woods.
Yeah, I
whatever.
think that's what it is.
What was when you and Brittany met? I know you guys met in the Barnes and Noble, and it was kind of a business relationship. Did you guys ever become intimate or anything like that, or
No.
was just strictly like she's
It was
helping you out?
It was strictly supposed to be business. It was strictly that was it.
Okay, and building web pages, right, or something.
Basically, she wanted to open up online stores.
Okay.
And I told her I could help her do that, and I could. And then it kept evolving, and it became, well, let's get an actual business going. And I was like, okay, well, I'd love to do that. It's great. It's exactly what I want to do. I want to own my own business.
Right, because you're good at computers.
Yeah.
Right.
I try to be good at computers. And anyway, so I was like, it's going to take a while if that's what you want. Because if she just had wanted the e-commerce site, I told her, like, put that up in a week. It's not hard at all. I just need the workspace and something to do the work on, because the computer I have, that laptop that you guys now have, is not really, it's not good enough. It's not going to be able to do half the things I needed to do web design.
Right.
Okay, so she bought the computer, and we agreed that I'd start doing it, and that she would help out with the sales side once it was up, and also help write the articles. And then when I came to her and said, well, look, these are the articles, I started sending her articles I need to write, have her write, and she kept coming up with excuses. Long story short, and you guys don't want to hear this, but basically it was just, it wasn't working. It was, just things like you said. I guess we had a clash of personalities, and if I had trusted my instincts, I would have left the second day I was there. But I was in such a bad spot that I just felt I can put up with it. I mean, it doesn't matter, because I could tell that she was a little, and I hate to say this, she was a little bit, not. I want to say, she was not. She was a very nice lady. She was very kind, and she did nothing but try to help me. But she was definitely a little nuts. And I knew that it was going to cause problems, not to the extent and not to what happened. I didn't know that was going to happen. But anyway, I remember the second day I was there thinking I should leave. This isn't going to work.
Yeah.
But then saying, well, I
You
don't
didn't
have
have any
anywhere
place
to
else
go,
to-
and this is better than nothing, and you got to try. You can't give up without trying. And so I stayed.
Did she tell you why that she wanted to start building and opening these stores?
She wanted to become a millionaire and make money. So.
Okay.
So her brother was a millionaire, and she thought that she should be one too, and that, so on and so forth.
Did she tell you much about her family or anything?
I knew that her brother made really good money, and then her dad made some money. I don't really know much else about her. Her family life, she didn't talk about that much. I know her brother had a big family. That's it, pretty much. I mean, like I said, she didn't really talk about her family life so much.
Did you ever meet any of her friends or anything?
I met a couple of her boyfriends.
Okay.
One of them I even hung out with for a little while. So I can't remember his name.
You went fishing with him?
Yeah.
Now, why was she introducing you as her nephew to people?
She just felt it was more convenient. Didn't have to
Than trying to explain,
things.
All right. Anything else that you've thought of that we haven't discussed? Let us step out for a minute and let me make a call and make sure that I've got people looking for this location, and that we've got people looking for the RAV4 here, and we'll go from there.
And we hadn't forgotten about your cigarette. We'll get you one.
Yeah, we'll get you.
One or two would be awesome.
Yeah, let me get that started.
We'll be right back in.
Thanks.
Hey, when's the absolute last time you saw the RAV4 in the parking lot of that library?
A month ago, I think.
A month ago?
Yeah, it's been a while.
Are you
So
sure
it
it's
might have been
you're
towed.
sure it's the library parking lot?
Well, not in the parking lot. The library's like, here's 35th, here's 68th. The car was parked right here. I know there's a guy that comes around. Like, I kept thinking you guys would start looking for me here because you'd find that car first. And I thought you'd find it sooner or by now, because usually there was a guy that I noticed coming around putting red stickers on cars, which I assumed that they needed to be towed. If that's the case, it's been towed. But
Right.
I would assume if it got towed too, or if
You would think so, yeah, but you never know. You never know.
So-
One digit off and it screws things up. If somebody makes a mistake, but did you see a red tag on it?
I have not seen a red tag on it.
Okay,
Ever
but a
since
month
I walked
ago
by.
though was the last time.
A month ago it was there, yeah.
Okay. All right, stand by.
And that's 58th and or 68th and 35.
Okay.
I will always be a monster. From 5 years to 5.
Hey, Joe, I'm going to take you back to the jail. Take those cards with you?
Yeah.
Just put them in your shirt pocket. Turn around.
Don't put them on Facebook or anything. These cards.
Oh, actually,
Try not to.
We still gonna get you a cigarette.
yeah.
we're still getting you a cigarette.
Hold on.
Oh, really?
Yeah, let me take this out. So you can smoke outside. Grab your garbage there, we'll throw it in the garbage can. Cool. Right here.
I think we got smokes right here. Yeah, we always keep those throwdowns.
Joe Roberts pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in 2014. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison.